Hello and welcome to One Step Global podcast. Today I'm delighted to have with me Stephen Williams, director at Nottingham Trent University. Hello, Stephen. Welcome.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Well, Nottingham Trent University is a very widely recognized university for its, strong industry focus, global outlook, and commitment to shaping future-ready graduates as well. And NTU has, continued to strengthen its position as one of the UK's most innovative and leading institutions. So I just want to start off by knowing more about the international student community that there is at NTU. So how does the university foster a sense of community amongst the international students, and what initiatives are in place to help these young minds, and how do you help them connect with one another and also integrate into the campus life?
That's a great question. So this is hugely important for me and my team who look after the international student experience on our campus, to the point that we have a key line in our strategy that we will be the UK's most welcoming and rewarding university for students from all communities. So this is absolutely key to the student experience that we offer. And one of those communities that we are thinking about in that statement, of course, is our international students. We have 160 different nationalities on campus, so a huge range of students from very different countries. But the largest group after our UK students, of course, is our Indian student community. So very, very important to us that we look after those students when they're with us, that we prepare them for life after their studies. So we give them all of the employability skills that they're going to need, whether they want to stay and work in the UK or look to come back to India or move to a third country. So how we go about doing that, we actually start before the students even arrive on campus. We've created an online program called Developing Intercultural Academic Study Skills. So it's partly about the skills you'll need to be successful at NTU. Of course, that's very important, but it's also about introducing our students to the very multicultural environment they're going to find on our campus. As I said, there's 160 different nationalities. How can you go about interacting with all those different types of people, having the best possible relationships, developing those important social and professional networks that will support your time at NTU, make sure you have an absolutely fantastic time, but also that you will have those networks for after you graduate. And I'm really proud to say that it's actually my team who delivers the next key initiative that I like to mention, which is our global lounges. So we have 2 global lounges on our 2 main campuses in Nottingham. And what these deliver is a social space for not just international students, but for all students. So they're a key place where our international students come, meet each other, but also get to integrate with our UK students to share ideas in a kind of a very safe, kind of meaningful space. We can promote different cultures through the global lounges, but we also develop students' skills, as I said again, important employability skills that will help students throughout their time at NTU, make them connected to the different services that we offer that will support them, and through our series of Global Lounge ambassadors. So they have the peer-to-peer support from other students, some from the UK, some international students, that again then can help them make them those meaningful connections while they're on campus. The third thing I should mention at this point, because it's happening right now as we speak, is, and it's day 2 of our annual Global Week festival. So this is the largest cultural event on campus. Typically we get around 3,000 students and staff will join this event. It's an opportunity for all of our international students to be able to celebrate and promote their culture on campus, whether that's through a cultural stall. So we give the students a kind of budget to be able to put on a stall that will promote a particular culture. Our Indian students have chosen this year to represent that in many different ways, and it could be for a whole range of different regional or religious or cultural cultures. So there will be a Maharashtrian society representing the state of Maharashtra, as there will be for many other different parts of India across the country. And that will also be done through performance, through debates. We'll have a really interesting international student panel happening tomorrow, which will feature a wide range of our international students, including some of our Indian students, talking about their experiences at NTU, their hopes and aspirations for after NTU. And that will be to a large audience of students and staff who will be there to listen and to share those experiences of what it is to be an international and, in some cases, an Indian student at the university.
Wow, I'm in awe because you mentioned 160 countries, global lounges, and the annual global week. So that definitely feels like NTU really wants the international students to feel at home and find a community. So this definitely builds the sense of community. While we're talking about that now. NTU has also developed a very strong global footprint as well, given the university's role in shaping the future of higher education, both in UK as well as globally. So, especially as universities are being more interconnected and all that, how do you think NTU, since you are director of Nottingham Trent University, how is NTU putting that in the forefront to make a global education more accessible for everyone?
Uh, I'm glad you used the word accessible because I think uh, what we're most well known for in the UK. You've mentioned a few of those things, so employability, industry focused, future ready graduates, all these things are absolutely key. But another really important aspect for us in the UK is social mobility. Mm-hmm. So many of the students that come to NTU will come to us from from more disadvantaged backgrounds. And that's really important for us that we provide those students with a high quality education that involves work-like experience that will mean that we can completely remove the attainment gap and also then the employability gap between our most disadvantaged students and our most advantaged students at the point of entry. So I'd hope what we would want to bring to our very globally connected world and our very outward-facing kind of NTU international strategy is that we would like in different parts of the world, including in India, to deliver the highest quality education, so a globally benchmarked education, but to do so at an affordable price and at scale. Because I think this is what we are and what we achieve in the UK. And it's been a fantastic trip to India over the last 10 days, meeting with many of our Indian university partners to discuss how we can create opportunities for their students at NTU. But for us, equally important, how can we create those kind of meaningful experiences for our UK students in India? This is really important to us that it's very much a two-way mobility process. And we know from past experience that that two-way mobility is self-perpetuating. It supports itself. So hopefully our UK students coming out to India are great brand ambassadors for NTU. They meet and make lifelong friends. We know that with the students from our Indian partner universities. And then hopefully those students and the friends of those students want to come to the UK, to NTU at some point, meet lots of UK students there, really impress them, and those students then want to come back again to India. So that happens already organically. And I'd like to mention just one initiative that we've introduced this academic year. So starting from September, we introduced something called our Go India program, which means Global Opportunity India. So we know at the moment there is a big imbalance between the number of Indian students coming to the UK compared to the number of UK students coming to India. We want to address that balance. So we've created a really exciting program that balances online events with on-campus events, and then the final piece of our jigsaw will be in-country events. What we mean by this is that we have a lot of kind of quite deep and meaningful dialogues online with faculty members and students from our partner institutions in India. So that's really to give our UK students a real deeper understanding of what's happening in India at the moment. Why is that important? We know that India is absolutely at the heart of higher education
Mhm.
innovation. It's the higher education and economic powerhouse of the world. And we want our students to know that India is going to be absolutely vital to their future employment. So after they graduate, so they need to understand and get India. So we do that through these online sessions first. We then invite those same students to join our on-campus events. Those might be more cultural
Mhm.
in nature, so we'll introduce them to various aspects of Indian culture
Mhm.
through those on-campus events. And then, as I said, the pièce de résistance is the in-country part where we
Mhm.
give those students who've gone through the first two parts of the program the opportunity to come to India for a 2 week summer program, and that will be fully funded by NTU. So this is our kind of three-stage or three-pronged attack on getting our UK students to realise how absolutely important India is
Mhm.
to the global education ecosystem, to the global economy, and to their future professional careers.
I'll have to mention, Stephen, I feel like it's very motivating and inspiring for study abroad aspirants to hear that institutions like NTU are ensuring that the global education is also accessible to all. And also, it's quite, inspiring as well. Again, I'd like to say to hear that institutions like NTU are also fostering a lot of global connection and global collaboration between UK students and international students as well, and making them, future ready as well. So, on that topic, I just wanted to reiterate, as NTU being a very forward thinking university, how are you ensuring that you have programs and courses that prepare students for the future ready workforce? Like, particularly in rapidly evolving sectors like AI, data science, sustainability. So, please do enlighten us on that as well.
The I think the key way that we do this is to embed all of those things that you've just talked about, but particularly AI and sustainability, into to all of our courses. So, of course, you'll find a number of courses on our course portfolio that will have the title something and AI
Mhm.
or something and sustainability. But typically, that's not the most common route that we've gone down. We've gone much down the route of, for example, for our courses in the Nottingham School of Art and Design. We'll embed sustainability into our fashion courses. Of course, we'll embed AI into our art and design courses because we know that those are the skills that all of our students will need as part of our course. And I think the other thing that's really key is that AI is, of course, the topic that we get most asked about by our students. And I think for us, yes, there was probably a point in the past where we would have said, well, of course, you need to be AI literate
Mhm.
because otherwise AI is going to take your job.
Mhm.
And then we might have said, well, actually, it's not AI that's going to take your job. We know that automation is coming, but it's the person who can use AI
Mhm.
who might take your job. And then we've probably moved beyond that now to realizing, and this is really important for our education programs, it's actually the person with human skills
Mhm.
who is AI literate that's going to take your job. So we place a great emphasis on making sure that, of course, we want all our students to be AI literate. That's a given in this current day and age. We want them to be uh, kind of carbon literate. So we have a good big focus on carbon literacy and sustainability.
Mhm.
But we need our students to be absolute fantastic critical thinkers.
Mhm.
And we need our students to have emotional intelligence. We know that from recent surveys, 67% of CEOs says this is emotional intelligence is the key thing that they need for those students coming into
Mhm.
their companies with the AI skills, and that's what's going to work for them. But then resilience, adaptability, all of these things are going to be key parts of the human skills training that goes alongside AI, that goes alongside sustainability, that sits within the curriculum and the programs that our students are studying.
Oh, lovely. Now, I'm sure that you know that for a lot of international students, employability is a very critical factor when they are looking for universities as well. So we'd like to understand how NTU is supporting its international students community in securing, meaningful employment opportunities, and also how does the university partner with, industry partners to create such opportunities for international students?
Yeah, we know that this is absolutely the most critical thing on our students' minds. Uh, it seems to be particularly important for our students from India, and absolutely should be. If I'm going to invest my time and my money to come to the UK to study for a degree at NTU, what's my return on investment? How are you going to deliver the career aspirations that I might have? And I completely understand this. I have two children who've just both been through universities in the UK, and that was also the thing that was forefront on their mind. So the good news about NTU is that we have the largest employability team in the UK,
Okay.
possibly in Europe. We haven't counted the employability team members in every European university, but it is just a demonstration. So we have over 120 people in our employability team working to support our students, and that could range from, of course, employability skills, supporting them with all of the kind of usual things that universities might offer, like helping with their CVs and interview preparation. All of these are kind of aspects, how to communicate the skills that they've developed through university and through their other experiences to an employer. So that's quite quite standard, but we do it at scale through this very large team of people, making sure that our students are getting the support and the best preparation they can possibly get. But in addition to that, for our undergraduate programs, now going back a number of years, we recognise that one of the key things employers look for is previous work experience when people are going for jobs. So we've made that a compulsory part of our undergraduate curriculum. You cannot graduate from NTU unless you have achieved the in-course employability work-like experience requirements that we ask for students, which is a minimum of 8 weeks per year. So that's what we're looking at for our students. So again, that's a key part of their portfolio of skills that they've developed while they're with us. But we also recognise for those international students who want to stay in the UK, it's not always easy to get a job in the UK if the employer is ignorant as to what the situation is around international student visas and the right to stay and work. So that's an area we've put a huge amount of effort in over the last at least 6 years now, where we've produced a guide for employers that really goes into great detail in explaining it's really easy to employ an international student in the UK. Here's how it works. Here's the value that they can bring, and that's, I think, had such a helpful impact. It's now been adopted outside of NTU by a large number of universities in the Midlands region where we are based. So I think that's hopefully having an impact, and we are, as well as kind of training our students, educating employers as to the ease and the benefits of employing international students in their companies.
I think it's clear that NTU really values their international students and cares about their post-study opportunities as well. So this is very, again, I'd like to say, inspiring again for study abroad aspirants.
Thank you.
Now, of course, for international students, experience goes far beyond just classroom as well. So we have spoken about this previously, but I would like to just delve deeper into that and understand how NTU fosters a very supportive environment for the international students, and how does the university help the international students kind of integrate into their life in UK, adjust in their life in UK, and network socially, and also navigate their life in UK, as this would be the first time that they're coming there.
So yes, I probably mentioned previously the two of the key tools we use, which is our developing intercultural academic study skills course, which goes into all those aspects of culture shock and preparation for life in the UK. not just the academic experience outside of the classroom as well, of course, is quite critical. If you arrive in a new country, we have set up this year, um, ashamed that we hadn't done it sooner, two international student advisory boards, one at the undergraduate level, one at the master's level. And I was expecting to get loads of fantastic feedback from them on their kind of academic programs, kind of mainly. But interestingly, particularly for our undergraduate students, maybe because our master's students might have studied their undergraduate in the UK, so they're a bit more experienced. A lot of the feedback that we got was around Stephen, I didn't understand the transport system when I first joined NTU, so I was getting Ubers from Nottingham to London, which is a little bit expensive, kind of. Because we're a couple of hours north of London is exactly where we are. Other questions around opening bank accounts, all of these practical things. So again, we've listened to that, we've learned, and we've sort of packed all of that information into our pre-arrival communications, but then into our induction programs, making sure students have the space to do all of those practical things at the appropriate time. So that means that they can then relax and focus on their academic studies and their employability, developing their employability skills. But you're right, the networks are kind of largely built through the social situations and spaces that we create for our students. A lot of that, as well as what happens in the global lounges, which I've already mentioned, will happen in our academic schools. So they have a very strong programs of kind of building kind of teams and networks within the schools, so that those students are quite integrated. And a lot of this happens through team building activities that happen right at the very start of the academic year, but then community events that sort of continue to take place. This is a real kind of focus for NTU, because we know it pays huge dividends. If those students feel supported, connected, integrated, then we know it has a big impact on their academic performance, a big positive impact, and those students perform much better. So it is an absolute focus for NTU. We have a strapline, a student experience like no other. And I think all of the national level survey results and the awards, we've twice now recently won the best UK university for international students, as voted for by international students.
Congratulations,
it's like a nice sort of TripAdvisor type awards. These are quite prestigious in the UK because of all the emphasis we place upon the experience of our international students. And of course, there's a benefit to NTU. I'll have to be honest, those students, the happier they are, the more likely they are to recommend the university to future students. And so it's a win-win situation. But the reason we do it, the motivation for me and my team, is largely because it's the right thing to do. We want those students to have the best possible time, to be the most successful that they can be, and to go on to the jobs that they aspire to have.
Definitely. And it's nice to see that NTU always has international students back, that they provide end-to-end support. But also, Stephen, I do want to mention that coming to international education, a lot of external policy also has effects on international education. Especially, there were some recent UK government changes, also education policies. So, how do you see these policy changes, impacting international students in the UK, or even particularly in NTU, particularly around visa regulations and post-study opportunities?
Yeah, it's clear that many different countries, including the UK, have been looking about how to balance the fantastic talent that we receive into the country in the form of our international students, and then some concerns around immigration that will exist in populations around many countries like the UK, the US, Canada, Australia have all had these kind of debates in recent times. And so I think people will probably be aware that the recent developments have meant that our master's students are no longer able to bring their dependents, although that's a situation that has now kind of calmed down, and is played out. The same would go for the graduate visa being reduced from 2 years to 18 months. But the good news is, I think that the UK government certainly said, okay, those are the only changes we were planning to make. Um, we're now entering into a period of stability, so our international students should be very confident if they're coming to the UK that the situation isn't going to change under the current government, and that's the situation that we're facing now. And it's why, as I said, that we've made sure that as a university we are constantly talking to government, constantly presenting our brilliant international students as case studies so they can see how successful these students are and what absolute value these students bring to our multicultural classrooms. Our UK students learn so much from our international students. It brings a huge benefit to the university community, and we're confident now that we will have a period of stability, and that our international community will find the experience, as I said, both welcoming and rewarding.
Well, there are always policy changes happening then and there, but international education always thrives. But we believe that partnerships are also increasingly important in helping universities connect meaningfully across students from different regions. So I just wanted to dive into, if you could share your thoughts on how the partnership with One Step Global has actually played a role in helping NTU connect with students from South Asia or particularly from India, and how has this partnership been helpful for NTU?
The partnership with One Step Global has been incredibly helpful uh, for NTU. I think just firstly because having an incredibly dedicated team of people on the ground who understand the country, understand the higher education ecosystem, the school ecosystem that feeds into the higher education system. Um, all of this on the ground intelligence is hugely important to us because it's completely, well, it's more than up to the minute. It's kind of ahead of the minute, so it's kind of future facing, and it means that we get to benefit greatly from all of that understanding and intelligence, and we can feed that into our future planning. So we know that the courses that we're going to be offering in 5 years' time are going to be the right courses with the right content and skills for our Indian students and what they might be aspiring to study, but also to go on to do in their careers. So that kind of just that on the ground, up to the minute intelligence and that One Step Global provides is completely invaluable. And I'm sure that they are the best in the business at providing it. That's been my experience anyway. And then, of course, there's the great help that they've provided to my team around developing the university's partnerships across South Asia. So they're very well connected into a wide range of universities, and so can make those introductions for us. And again, look ahead, spot the trends, see where the kind of areas of demand that NTU might be wanting to look into. And again, that's been very, very valuable. But of course, One Step Global is very much a company that supports the recruitment of international students from South Asia to the UK. And this is another area that has been hugely successful for NTU in the partnership with One Step Global and the team that we have here in India that works with One Step Global. And again, I think I mentioned earlier that we have more students from India than any other nationality other than the UK. And again, that's in a large part thanks to the great work that the One Step Global team does here in India.
Now, talking about the trends that's going on in international education, now transnational education or TNE is also becoming a key pillar for global higher education. And how do you see NTU views this role of TNE and also the international branch campuses idea that's also sprouting across India as well? So, what do you think about it from NTU's perspective, and what long-term opportunities do you see from such TNE and IBC collaborations, especially in India or South Asia?
So we have a number of really successful examples of very long-term sustainable transnational education or TNE that we've run, particularly in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So we have kind of long-standing, now over 10 years, a joint institute in Beijing with
Mm-hmm.
Communication University of China. And what that's allowed us to do is to develop joint programs together,
Mm-hmm.
kind of at the master's and the undergraduate level, that bring the best of the UK and the
Mm-hmm.
best of China together. And that's been kind of very successful, both in terms of the student recruitment
Mm-hmm.
numbers, but also in terms of the student satisfaction and the student outcomes. So I guess what we've learned from that model is we would want to, if we did bring and develop more TNE in India, we'd want to bring those same key elements as we've seen there. So a real focus on student experience and student outcomes. And of course, it would have to be absolutely of the same high quality that we deliver in the UK. So I think what I can say at the moment is, like many UK universities, we're watching and waiting. We know there's only a small number of institutions that have launched so far in India.
Mm-hmm.
A few, I think it's 5 in Gift City in
Yes.
Gujarat, and then of course the University of Southampton, who've launched just last September in Gurugram, and I think we'll wait and see to see how those initial projects start. But again, whatever we do in terms of transnational education, the student is always at the heart of what we're trying to achieve. So it's definitely the highest quality, it's student centric, with a focus upon delivering those outcomes that those students expect and deserve.
Amazing. Now, it's quite evident that UK and India have a very long-standing relationship as well. So I just want to steer the conversation to the recent, India-UK free trade agreement. Now, this proposed agreement is expected to, deepen the bilateral ties that we already have. So how do you see this influencing, the academic partnership, student mobility, and also industry collaborations as well, and between UK and India, and particularly how do you see this through NTU's lens?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic that the free trade deal was signed, and then hot on the heels of that, we had the India-UK Vision
Mm.
2035 agreement, which of course has a very strong focus on education and transnational education between the two countries, as
Yes.
we've just discussed. But then even more recently, so only a few weeks ago, we had the UK government's new international education strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I attended a fantastic event last week at
Mm-hmm.
the British High Commissioner's residence, where there were a number of speakers, including the director of the British Council India,
Mm-hmm.
who reminded us that well, for me, it was a learning point, that the new international education strategy mentions India 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I
Okay.
guess I couldn't tell you what the next highest country in terms of times mentioned, but it'll be a lot less than 20.
Yeah.
And that just really communicated the importance, the central importance of India to the UK's uh, Asia Pacific strategy, particularly when it comes to education. So that's great context for us. It's great context that the government recognises the importance of India to the UK, that it wants to strengthen and deepen higher education ties between the two countries. But from an NTU lens, we've been here for decades. This is the country that we've most invested in, that we've most visited, that we've received the most students from, and all of these things are united and form a kind of a holistic picture of engagement. And I guess, as I said earlier, it's the country now we want to send most of our UK students to, because
Yes.
it's that two-way mobility that we think is going to really deepen the relationship between NTU and our Indian partner universities. And of course, we want to share between our partner universities in India and the UK, also our employer and industry links as well, so that our Indian partners can have more of a deeper connection into the UK employment ecosystem, and vice versa for us. So it's a great time of engagement, and it's a great opportunity for mutual benefit.
Yes.
I think we can all look forward to, and yeah.
Sounds amazing, and sounds like a win-win for both nations as well.
Absolutely, and as I say, I think this is I'm somewhere near. I must be close to 50 visits, if not over 50 visits to India. I've been
Okay,
coming
that's great.
for the last 22 years, and hopefully that enthusiasm and that passion comes across. And I think this has probably never been in those 22 years, a more exciting time for the India-UK relationship.
That's great to hear as well. Now, finally, Stephen, for the students who might be watching this and considering, NTU as the potential university, what advice would you like to give them to, ensure that they have the best time in the UK and make the best, of the opportunity that they have if they're in NTU or in the UK?
I think the best piece of advice I could give is probably to say, please do not sit on the sidelines. Do not be a shrinking violet. Kind of when you're in the UK, you've invested your time, your money to come and have the full UK experience. And I think that the best way you can do that is to take up all of the opportunities that your UK university experience, and in particular your NTU student experience, can offer. So I've mentioned all of the opportunities around our global lounges, our global week, getting involved in those events and facilities that have an international dimension. But there is a much wider NTU experience out there around sport for all levels, whether you're kind of an elite athlete or a complete beginner, that'll exist there. We have students' union clubs and societies that cover every possible interest. And if your particular interest is not met, you can form your own brand new club and society to meet that interest and get a group of people, like-minded people together. And of course, as I said, all of the employability opportunities, including the part-time work opportunities that are available to all of our students, including our Indian students. All of these add up to a well-rounded, holistic experience that will really mean that you've got the most out of your time at NTU and in the UK, and it's going to set you up for a really bright future.
That sounds absolutely marvelous. And thank you so much, Stephen, for your time, for sharing such thoughtful insights into international education, into NTU's vision, sharing more about the international community, and also having a conversation with me about TNE and the policy changes as well. It has been a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much for that.
No, it's a real pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for arranging this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.